Welcome to the Slay to Success show. In this session, I'm going to talk about how to stay fit after 50. My name is Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, and I am the CEO and founder of Slay to Success LLC. I am a speaker, an author, a mentor, and a coach, if you will. And I'm a 30-year United States Air Force veteran. So I am here to talk to you all about what it looks like for me as I'm staying fit after 50. So I went into the military when I was 19 years old, and I retired when I was 49 years old. And in that 3-decade career, I had to learn how to take care of my body because I needed to stay fit because it was a condition of employment in the military. And so it was one of those things that through lots of trial and error and really figuring out what works for my body is how I have gotten to this point today. So I've been officially retired from the United States Air Force for about a year and a half now. And what you see here is my home gym. So over the course of my 30 years, I started investing in equipment because my schedule was not my own, especially as I reached higher leadership roles. And so I needed to continue to stay fit and be able to pass my physical test, our physical fitness test, which is running, push-ups, and sit-ups. But I couldn't go to the gym or couldn't get to the gym a lot of times. And it really served me well throughout the pandemic because I had all these pieces of equipment in the basement of a house that I was living in at my last duty station. And I was able to continue to maintain my fitness. So since the pandemic has hit, I've probably been to the gym a handful of times. But I use the equipment in here in my home gym to actually stay fit and ready. So my mantra is slay. It is a word that most of you have already heard before. It means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. And so it's a mindset. So one of the things I have used throughout my transition, if you will, from the military is that slay mindset. And each letter of the word stands for a life and leadership philosophy that I have adopted that resonated with me the most over my time in the military. So S is stay ready, be ready. L is lead out loud. A is a sense of family, a sense of community. And Y is you are built to last. And so I'm here slaying all the things, as you will, as I am transitioning and moving into the next phase of my life. And so every morning I get up, doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, it doesn't matter what the environment is outside. I've got everything that I need to in here. My motivation is so high, I don't even think about it. It has been a routine and a habit for me for over 25 years. And so I invested in pieces of equipment that truly have given me the benefit of not actually just, being fit, but actually looking the part. And I feel strong, I feel confident, I get more sleep, I think more clearly. I'm very focused on my goals that I have not only in my personal life, but in my professional life. And it's all because I've been in here working it out. So here are some tips that I'm going to pass along to you. So if you are 50 and maybe you have been struggling for some time and you're like, oh, I used to work out when I was younger, but over the years, I kind of just let it go. And I don't know exactly what to do. I don't even know where to start. I want you to first to be kind to yourself and give yourself some grace because it is an uphill battle to get back into the groove of something that you haven't done for so long. and you have to be patient, and you have to be willing to put in a little bit of work, and over time it compounds, right? Like anything else, you are what you consistently do. All right, it is a mindset shift. So when I get up in the morning, I don't even think about it. I come straight down here in the basement. I have my workout clothes in the closet here, so I don't have to worry about changing upstairs or, getting ready, making noise, or if anything like that. Because sometimes on the weekend, I'm working out. My husband likes to sleep in, so I just come down here. Everything's down here already, okay? I wrap up my hair. So for those that, specifically Black women, and our hair and what exercise can do for it, I have my hair in a protected style, and I like braids. When I was in the military, I used to pull it all the way back. It was in a relaxed hair, because I used to relax my hair like every 3 to 4 months, and I pulled it back into a bun. But here in retirement, I love braids because it's easier for me to deal with. I don't have to put a hat on like I did when I was in the military and worry about the length and bundling it all up, because I didn't have all those skills. So now I can freely wear my hair in this protected style. So braids are my go-to. And then when I'm done working out, I blow dry on cool, make sure all the extra sweat, I spray down with some braid sheen spray, keep it moisturized, and then I'm keeping it moving, all right? So for those that are like, oh, my hair, do not let that be an excuse as to why you can't work out, okay? There's always a solution. There's always something that we can do to make sure that our experience is as great as we would like for it to be. So the first piece of equipment that I'm going to talk to you about is the treadmill. So I have a Nordic Track. It's a Jillian Michaels Nordic Track. I've had it for probably close to 8 years. More than likely, I need to get replaced, but it's working just fine. So here on the treadmill, that has some programs that I use. I like to work using my Peloton app. So if you don't have a Peloton app, you can easily download it on your phone. I also have the Peloton bike, which I'll talk to you here next. And I do workouts from there all the time because I like variety. So I typically choose a treadmill run or a treadmill boot camp, and I just press play and I go. So I either do that or I follow the programs that are on the treadmill. So here on the treadmill, what I typically do is I do a lot of incline walking. So, if you're starting out and you're like, I'm not up to running just yet, put a little incline and do that for, I would say at least 30 minutes, right? You could do as slow as you possibly can. I am now at the point where I'm at 3.0 walking speed, and I typically have it either at 12 or 13 incline, and I do that for 30 minutes, all right? At 3.0, 12 incline, 30 minutes. Those are the days when I'm taking off from running. All right, it's a really good intense workout. It will get you breathing really, really heavy. But if you're starting out, you can do half, right? You can do at 6 incline, or you can even decrease the actual speed that you're at. Right? You got to really listen to your body. So then, if I'm running, I always do interval running on the treadmill. I do the interval running workouts. It's so good for my body. Like over the years, I do have some, little aches and pains, but they're not anything significant. But I do want to be able to exercise for the next 10 or 20 years. So I'm being very cognizant now on how to continue to do that. So I do a lot of walking and running intervals. I do sprint work, right? So if you're just starting out, jogging at a 4.5 or a 5.0 is really, a good starting point. I'm at this point right now where I'm running between 7.5 and 8.0 for like 30 seconds. And then I walk for 30 seconds. I do a lot of that type of interval training. And like I said before, I do Peloton app. So it's absolutely great if you just want to have somebody kind of instruct you through and you're not sure what to do for that day. You don't even have to figure it out. So definitely invest in a good quality treadmill. All right, I think that's one of the pieces of equipment that you have to have in a home gym workout, because either way, you're either walking or running, and you can walk your whole life. All right, So that is the treadmill. Here that I'm putting my hand on is the Peloton spin bike. I typically, again, I use all the programs that are on here, but what I like to do is a lot of interval work here on the spin bike too, and using lots of resistance. So the instructors will get you into the mode of having either, starting at 20, 20 on your resistance all the way up to, some instructors get you all the way up to 70 or 80 on the resistance. But I love it because I get the mileage in, and it's a low impact exercise. Again, taking some of that off of your knees and your joints and whatnot, and your back, if you're having those types of problems right now at this age. I do either the bike or the treadmill. I do every other day, y'all, every other day. So for example, on Monday, I may be on the treadmill, all right? On Tuesday, I go to the spin bike. And then Wednesday, to the treadmill. And then so forth and so on, all right? Now on days that I don't feel up to, because you know what? Let's just be honest. There are some days where you just don't want to exercise or work out. I typically come here to my TV, all right? My go-to is Heather Robertson. She is on YouTube, and she does a lot of interval circuit training with the weights. So here we are, we're gonna lead into the weights. I have a whole stack of weights here, all the way from 8 pounds hand weights to 45-pound hand weights here. So 8 to 45, and this gets it done, y'all. That gets it done, okay? So I lift heavy, all right? Every other day, it's kind of, I do a lot of how do I feel with my body, but weight training is incorporated in both the treadmill and the spin bike. I just don't do just straight up cardio. I used to do that for years and years and years, y'all. And when I did, I found that I was not getting stronger. I felt a lot of more aches and pains in my back. I just didn't feel like, at my best. So I was like, I've got to get this weight training down, right? So some days I lift heavy, and other days I do light. But I do a lot of weight interval training workout. What does that mean? That means I go from one exercise to the next, very intense, high reps, and just keeping it moving. If you go on Heather Robertson's YouTube channel, like I said before, you will see the benefits of you actually moving from one exercise to the next. And it's like 40 seconds, doing exercise, and 20 seconds that you're off. So when we incorporate all these different types of elements into our exercise routine, it does not become boring, and you can continue to do it every single day. Now, I work out every day, all right? It doesn't matter. Every single day, I get in a workout. I get it in very early before the day starts, before I start doing anything, because once the day goes, that means that I probably more than likely won't have enough energy in me because life comes up. I have a family. I want to spend time with the family, so I get it done before anybody gets up, so there's no interference with my personal life or my time. And so after, I work out, I do want to speak to you all about my eating habits, because it always comes up, like, how do you maintain your muscle mass, right? And what are you eating? Okay, so I will share just this little bit of information, because it can become a little bit complicated. But first of all, you should really know your body. Know what you like. Know how your body responds to certain foods. You can do like a testing, making sure that, you're including lean proteins in your meals, in every meal. So I do fasting. I do intermittent fasting. I usually don't eat breakfast. Okay, so if I work out here, and usually I'm down here from like 7:30 to 9 o'clock, and my full routine doesn't last no more than 90 minutes. And they could be shorter some days just based on my schedule. But after I'm done, I go get dressed, take a shower, get dressed, all that great thing. And then I usually don't have my first meal until about 11:30, 12 o'clock. And what I found is it really makes me lean. It keeps me lean and it keeps my energy level high because I don't have a lot of intake, right after I exercise. Now, I've had to grow into this. So if you're just starting out, you should really consider talking to your doctor, especially if you have any past medical history or chronic diseases, because I'm not a doctor and I don't know your body, but you do. So you've got to be able to figure out if that's something that'll work for you. Do some research. I've done a lot of reading on it, but I typically have my last meal about 8:30. So I'm a snacker, so I snack and I eat little bits of food. But basically what I do is have oatmeal protein pancakes for breakfast, like at the 12 o'clock meal. I eat yogurt, and keto yogurt is usually my go-to. Then at lunchtime or that 3 o'clock meal, I have a lean protein, vegetables, and sweet potato, half of a sweet potato. And then in the afternoon, I have another snack like a protein bar. And then in the evening, I have a lean protein, which is usually salmon and vegetables. And then right before I go to bed, I usually have a peanut butter low carb tortilla. There's something about peanut butter, I don't know what it is, but it holds me over throughout the whole night. And I'm very consistent with that. Now, I do reward myself, and I think that's important for people to know and to hear, that I do reward myself. So on Saturdays, okay, Saturday is my day. All right, you can't tell me nothing on Saturday because usually I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. Now, over the years, I've really had to watch what I've eaten because there are certain foods that have really kind of like interrupted my digestive system. And so I pull back a little bit on some of those foods. So I love buttercream frosting. I don't know any other type of frosting. So if you're a whipped type frosting persons, I can't even relate. I'm buttercream. So I usually have something with buttercream on it. So a cupcake or a piece of cake. I love Mexican food. I love Italian food. I love Thai or Chinese food. So that's typically what I'm going to be eating for my cheat meal, if you will, on Saturday. Now, I don't drink a lot of alcohol. In fact, I probably only drink 1 to 2 drinks a month because it does mess up my digestive system, and it also leaves me a little bit less energized. And so I'm always looking forward to my exercise routine. Imagine that. And so I'm always like, okay, no, that's going to interrupt that. I do not want to have a hangover. I don't want to feel like I'm sluggish. I know my workouts are hard, so my workouts are very challenging. They push me past my limits every single time, but I have built up to that point. And so I know what foods I need to be eating in order to be doing that. And the last tip of advice that I would give you is just, it is a journey, okay? I know some people are always trying to get prepared for an event, or they have, something big coming up that they really want to look good, and they want to impress people. But what I offer to you is to think outside of that, think beyond that. All right, the benefits that you get from taking care of yourself, the benefits of being able to wear the clothes that you've actually bought, and they don't just stay in the closet and have price tags. You can actually cut the price tags off of them, and you can actually wear it and feel great in them. That's a benefit, right? The benefit of knowing that you are reducing the risk of heart disease and diabetes, which run in my family. And so I am being very cognizant of that, especially in my, retirement years, because I don't want to be going to the hospital or going to the clinic and having to have, these medical conditions that I could have prevented at this point from just simply just, revamping my diet and doing the exercises that work for my body. Also, the benefit in knowing that, my family, our son, he is 13 years old right now, and that he's watching me and he sees me how I am actually taking care of myself. And so he's actually modeling that right now. So he works out in here in this space at night. My husband works out in this space before he goes to work. So all of us are engaged in some sort of physical activity because we know the importance and the benefits of actually being here and being able to do things together. We're not allowing, our bodies to fail because we haven't really taken care of them. So we're also decreasing depression, and anxiety. I'm in menopause. I just found out like a few months ago. And so it's even more important right now that I actually work through that because I do have interrupted sleep. I have insomnia. I have a little bit of hot flash going on. And the research that I'm showing is you just have to work through these, and the way that I'm taking care of my body is actually decreasing the amount of symptoms that I'm having. I also walk at night. All right. So if you don't think that this is enough, right? Some people are like, oh my gosh, she just does this and she does that. Well, I understand the importance of moving your body, and moving your body is medicine. All right. Health is wealth. So on days which is really, really nice outside in the evening, I'll take about a 30 to 45-minute walk. Now, I'm not sweating during these walks. I'm leisurely walking through the neighborhood and I'm just getting in more steps, just, processing things that probably went on during the day, getting my mood right, getting my body prepared to go to sleep. These are all techniques that you can have and tools that you can have as you are getting fit after 50. So this is your Slay Queen, affectionately called the Slay Queen. And I just gave you some tips on how to stay fit after 50. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe to this channel if